I don't want to talk about the Dutch elections just because of the Dutch elections. I want to talk about them in the context of why that matters, because I feel like a lot of people are at home are watching this and being like, I'm sorry, you want to talk about the Dutch elections? I got to take a shit. I don't care.
What they mean,
and I get that.
in a larger sense, yeah.
So, and also I just wanted to show you a picture of this guy because he is like he looks like a caricature of what if you said like, oh, this far right Looney Tune won the elections in Holland. This is what you draw. Can we?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Give me a second. God.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
What is that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't look real. He does not look real. It looks like stage makeup if they were like, hey, we want somebody who's like a total fascist, but also kind of looks like Ken from Barbie and Ken. Like, can we, like...
It
aged,
looks like,
you know,
but it looks like
1,000 years.
It looks like an AI program was asked to like take, I don't know, like a old wrinkly turd and like make it human or something,
and put a wig on it and eyebrows. So okay, I just wanted to share that first because it's terrifying and also like very apt, I guess. So there's a lot of
simulation.
There's a lot of details about like how this guy won and all of that. But what I want to get to here is the fact that what was I
was just gonna say, you want to give his name. So this guy won the Dutch election just the other day. You pronounce it.
I don't know how to Geert. I think it's Geert, but Wilders or
Geert Wilders.
Yeah. So I wanted to, and again, the details of how he won. Yeah, that's whatever. But so I like the way that Truth Out puts this, and I want to make sure that I'm not getting that I give the proper byline here. Oh boy, by CJ Polyshranu. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name, but anyway. So, as they put it, the Netherlands endured 13 years of neoliberal rule led by the People's Party for Freedom and Democracy, a center-right party, which promoted the interests of private enterprises and big business and paid little attention to the needs of the average citizen. Where does that sound like?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I also like that they put endured 13 years of neoliberal rule, because here's the thing. Neoliberalism is like fascism, but with more steps. Like it takes you longer to get there.
It leads there, yeah.
You still get to the same spot, but like the far right, like fascist parties, that's like the direct route, right? It's like, from here to here, a straight line. Neoliberalism is like, oh, well, I'm going to take you around. Oh, and here's that Black Lives Matter flag, and here's the Pride flag, and here's this Human Rights Council that we sat on. And so it's like this, it's this shit. It's meandering, but fascism is still straight ahead.
And I would just also like to point out that the reason this impacts all of us is this is I call it, or I've termed it, the gravity of capitalism. When you have a system, and if you want to add adjectives, you can say free market capitalism, but when you have a system that puts profit over all else, even if it may, after World War II, some of these societies were in a better place where they cared about citizens, all of them are slowly, some faster than others. The United States is on a really fast path, but being yanked towards there is zero care for the average citizen. It's all about war and money, and there is zero moral center, community destroyed. That is where it's a black hole slowly sucking everything in, starting out small and getting bigger and bigger. And you see this gravity of capitalism in other countries as well. It's not just the United States.
No, absolutely. And this article goes on to point out when Wilders, however you say his name, won, congratulations poured in from Hungary's far right, Italian deputy minister and leader of the extreme right party, Matteo Salvini, France's Marine Le Pen. So
I have another one here, which I have the headline for. Argentina.
Right. But anyway, so basically the crux of this is that neoliberalism brought the Netherlands to the point where somebody like this could win. And I see this happening in Sweden. This is obviously, I mean, it's been happening here. People can attest to that. I don't need to share that with you. So the question then is, how do you counter this? And of course, just like the Democrats, neoliberal and, centrist parties will always say shit like, oh, well, we need to compromise, we need to collaborate, and we're going to say the right things but then do nothing, and we will continue to uphold the corporate state. And by the way, as Mussolini said, fascism could better be described as corporatism. So then riddle me this: what do we have in the United States?
Right.
So basically, as they write here in closing, quote, the answer to the threat they pose, the far right, in the 21st century is clear: tackling the root causes of economic inequality and ensuring that no one is left behind. The return of the social state and the expansion of democracy are the best tools available for fighting fascism and far right extremism, end quote. And that's never something that the Democrats are going to do. It's never something that these, mealy-mouthed centrist parties in Europe or the US are ever going to do. And so we, again, with I guess maybe today's episode should be called Connecting the Dots. His triumph in the Netherlands is exactly tied to the far right rise here, to the far right rise in Sweden, in England, in France, in Germany, all over, in India and Turkey, whatever, wherever it may be. In Israel, although there's no left in Israel.
There's no left, but the ones in power are about as far right as they come in Israel. Yeah.
But again, these things happen as a global surge, and the more we look at ourselves in a silo, the more we lament, oh, Trump, or oh, DeSantis, or oh, whatever, the more we totally miss the larger picture, and we miss the importance of solidarity and connecting these struggles in order to really address how to combat them effectively. And so that's why I wanted to share that, not because I think that you all are dying to know about Dutch elections in your free time.
No, but it's a great point that you're seeing this in several countries. Now, there are a lot of positives of what's going on around the world as well, but I think we need to keep our eye on this rise of fascism. The positives of what's going on in the world is the waning power of the U.S. empire, how many nations are willing to stand up against it, the growing power of some African countries, some Latin American countries, China forming BRICS. So there are positives in this world as well, but this is where capitalism leads. Capitalism creates neoliberalism that guts everybody's resources, treats citizens like pieces of shit, and then that leads to fascism.